All right, what's going on? What's going on, people? I am one of your co-hosts, Lee OG, and welcome to another edition of the ATL 3 Style Live podcast, where we talk Atlanta sports and everything sports related from a fan's point of view. Before I get started, I gotta take it over to my man, my co-host out there holding it down on the southwest side of Atlanta, man. My man Banks, what's going on?
How you feeling? How you feeling, Leo? What's going on, people out there, ATL land?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. Kind of kicking it here, man, and gonna go over some stuff, ATL related, sports related, man, and a few things in between, man. So, we coming up on that period, Banks. We talked about it on the last episode where, it's a little slow with some of the sport news out there, man, but we're gonna make it do what it do. We got some traction, got a couple of things to talk about out there in the sports world. And of course, we're always very opinionated as fans, and we'll give it to you how we see it. Before we get on off into it, Banks, you know what we gotta do, man. We gotta holler at our partners, man. Gotta give some support, man, to some small businesses and show them love, man. So let everybody know about my man out there, Easton.
Check out my man Phil, who is Eastland's Woodworking Company. He does a lot of woodworking for your celebration needs. You need some plaques made. You need a ashtray, a coaster, anything to hang on your wall, just to have a keepsake, personalized with your team name or your initial, like so. This is my initial here, be in my favorite team, or he can do anything that you want to do. Hit my boy Phil, hit that QR code, let him know we sent you.
That's what's up, man. Always giving a shout out to our boy Phil out there, Easton's Woodworking. Hit that QR code, man, and get him something. If you don't see anything on the webpage, man, just hit him up. Let him know he'll do, like I said, whatever. Got a couple of custom things that he working on for me, man. So hopefully we'll be able to feature him here on the show here momentarily coming up, man. I think he's doing some stuff for a couple of different people, man. So got to get Banks. You got to put in another order, man, before the season start up, man. Get you some more custom work from Eastern Woodworking, brother.
Absolutely, that was the plan. I was going to do something. I wanted to have a different, not just Falcons. I wanted every team logo on something personal. So I was going to holler at them and see if I can get that done. Braves, Hawks, United, a Dream, just every last team we have in the city.
Absolutely, man. Fire that up. And I can't forget about my man Bocce over there at BEZ, man. Y'all see it, y'all know it. It's the moisturizing conditioning spray for natural hair, beards, all that, man. 470-222-9927. As a matter of fact, I need to hit my man up and get some more product myself. I know, Banks, you were looking for some. I just dropped some off with my man Derrico not too long ago. But yeah, holla at my man Bocce's 470-222-9927. Definitely get some of that product from him, man. It's hot. It's going hot. And speaking of Derrico, man, he is not here once again. I'm starting to think he does not like us anymore, Banks. I don't know. But he's a busy man. That man is very, very busy, especially around this time of year. You just never know. He might pop up or something. I don't know. I doubt he pops up today, but he'll get back in this thing, man. He'll jump right back in double Dutch style whenever he has the opportunity and the time. But yeah, I don't know, Banks. Did we do something to him? Did he?
Well, I don't think so. I think he's got stuff to do with the fam, and it's his vacation time, as will be for me soon. When he returns, I'm sure I will be out and out of pocket. I'll be going to a couple of places for the summer. So I mean, it's travel season. I think a lot of people they just say, you know what, this year I'm getting out of here, and I'm one of them.
Hey man, look, I always work, man. I'm here for y'all. I'm Leo G. Y'all ain't gonna see me disappear. I'm gonna be here, man. See, Banks and Derico, they can, gallivant and do their thing, man. I guess, I ain't able. It must be nice. Everybody ain't able, but we'll see how that work out, man, as the summer progresses, man. For real. It's good to take a break, man. Whether it's hot, it's getting warm. Obviously, man, take your vacation. So yeah, wherever Derico is, man, I hope he's enjoying himself. And it's not because he doesn't want to deal with the likes of us anymore. All right, Banks. I don't know if you want to do a fit check. I always get chastised because I don't go in the order. I know everybody's so used to the order and they so particular and OCD about stuff, but we did have an order before we got this thing started up. If you want to let everybody know what you got going on out there.
Nothing special, man. I'm just got a plain A hat for the Braves. Got Atlanta Braves T-shirt. Nothing out the ordinary. It's just what's going on in this city besides the dream. And of course, United. The Braves are the topic. Unfortunately, it's not for the good thing. It's kind of like where we go from here, but we're going to elaborate it more on the show. But nothing special. As you can see, this is what it is.
That's what's up. Atlanta Braves, Atlanta United, Atlanta Dream. That's what's going on right now. I don't have on anything special. Just my A hat, blackout A hat. Y'all, well, it's not a blackout A hat, but it's the black A hat. It's a little special. You can't really see it on the show, but everything glows in the dark. So found this song. I don't know where I found this. I found I got so many hats, it's ridiculous. But I saw it, I had to have it. So I got it. And I'm rocking, one of my NFL salute the service NFL Falcons t-shirts. One of my favorite t-shirts, actually, man. I try to get a salute the service piece every year when it comes out, man, because it's near and dear to me. Being a military brat, man. Both of my parents were in the military, man. So always salute the service and our servicemen and that serve our country, our veterans, man. I'm big on that, man. So that's what I got on tonight. Banks, yeah, we're going to hit a couple of topics, man. Definitely going to talk about the Braves here as they get set to first pitch up there in Milwaukee. They took one last night. We'll talk about that a little bit here and what's going on with them. But I want to get let's do a couple of quick takes, man, before we actually dig into the meat of what's going on with the Braves. And of course, how they are faring and where we're going, kind of moving here into this All-Star break. First topic of conversation I want to talk about is mandatory minicamp. I think is starting around the NFL. Of course, our Atlanta Falcons are going to be firing it up there in Flowery Branch here. Topic of conversation, as we've talked before about Kirk Cousins and the situation with the Atlanta Falcons. There's been quite a bit of movement in the NFL, and we kind of thought that Kirk Cousins might not be here around this time, going into mandatory minicamp, and then obviously we're only a few weeks away before we get right into training camp, Banks. There's a lot of, I guess, I don't know, talk, and there has been some talk today because I guess he did show up so he wouldn't get fined, about how last season transpired. And of course, we've gone over this time and time again, but just him still being with this organization and this team and knowing that he's not going anywhere, he's under contract, he's getting paid. Your feelings and your thoughts. I know I feel, like, hey, he's here now. He might as well just, sit back and enjoy the ride. Is this going to be a hindrance? Is this going to be something that's going to unfold into some drama like situation as we move into training camp and as we move into the season? Or do you think Kirk Cousins is a professional and this will fade the black and the Falcons organization to be able to handle this very smoothly as we roll into the season? Because we all know it's Penix's show. It's Penix's team, and Kirk Cousins is QB2 at this time.
Well, I think it's the latter of what you said. I think this is going to be something that's going to be smoothed over. As much people despise Kirk Cousins, he is a professional. The man just got paid, and I think he knows that, both, like, he doesn't want to be fired either, but I don't think he has to be the one to be the noisiest one in the room. You might want to fall back and kind of just, take it easy. You are now the media. um, Basically, you're whatever cameras and microphones come up in that place, they coming to you. And I mean Kirk Cousins. And he made a statement today. I don't know if it was today or a couple hours ago. He said we were moving forward, and it's all about we as a team and as a quarterback room, we can be the best we can be in 2025. So I don't know what the question was, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty much trying to fill the room as him coexisting with Michael Penix. And I think he's trying to diffuse it by saying, we're a unit, we're trying to move forward. Kirk Cousins, besides the media, I'm pretty sure he's feeling the backlash from the fan base. Um, only thing I can say is he is a professional, and I think the organization is more professional enough to know that we can get past this. I don't think it's gonna be no kind of distraction or anything like that. We all know whose show this is. It's Michael Penix's show. I don't think Mom Kirk Cousins is gonna overstep no boundaries or anything like that. The man he's got his money. I mean, what can he really do at this point? He's not started. I mean, as our report came out, I think I saw earlier today that Pittsburgh had three options in case that Aaron Rodgers didn't go through. And guess what? Kirk Cousins wasn't one of them. So that just goes to show you, how popular he is without the lead. Anybody really wants him. So he's here. He's our backup. He's an expensive backup, but he's here. So I think we got to move forward. Let's talk about other thing that's more important about this team besides a backup QB.
I mean, it's going to be talked about. I mean, as fans, it's the elephant in the room, and I think it's going to be a story that the media is going to come back to. Obviously, yes, we want it to be all about Penix, but it's going to be there, especially as we move forward. Because I mean, there really is, with Aaron Rodgers now, with that drama that happened with him and him finally signing up there with the Steelers. I think that now around the horn, around the 32 teams, mostly everybody does not have a question mark at the QB situation, whether they have a quarterback by committee situation like the Giants and some of these other teams that have, young guys that they're going to fill out and see if they're ready to go. I think the consensus is, Banks, like we talked before, moving forward is going to be, hey, these guys that are going to get drafted early are going to get thrown into the fire, and hey, you're going to have to see what you got. Coming off the success of guys like Jaden Daniels and my man up there in Cincinnati, Macaulay Culkin. What's my man in Cincinnati name? I just drew a blank, Banks.
It was Andy Dalton?
No, not Andy Dalton. The
Who you
starting
talking about?
quarterback for the
Oh, crap! I'm tripping now. Yeah, I blame
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
yeah,
Joe
him.
Burrow. That guy, you know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of NFL teams have come to a consensus that, put young guys out that have had some success in college and let's see where they go. So Kirk Cousins, like I say, he gonna sit fast and earlier part of his career, that's what he was. He was a backup until he became a career criminal. I mean, a career guy that was able to go places to get money for his services and not be very successful in doing so. Did I say that out loud? I did. But moving forward, man, I'm very excited about what Penix is going to bring, and I'm hoping that Kirk Cousins is going to be a professional, Banks, and let Penix shine. Got another couple of topics to talk about here, man, and we'll dig right on into the Braves. So Banks, we got, like you said, you said the Dream is doing okay. I got to figure out what's going on with this WNBA schedule. I think they moved out the way because of the NBA Finals or something. I don't know. They stuck right now at 5-3, number 2 in the Eastern Conference, so they're sitting pretty good right now. I think the Liberty are undefeated at 8-0, right above them. But I don't know if they taking a back seat right now while the NBA Finals are going on, but not a lot of games being played right now with the WNBA. I don't know if you have any info on that.
Yeah, they are actually in season tournament, Commissioner's Cup or something like that. Kind
Okay,
of like what NBA
NBA
adopted a
did
couple of years
decided to
ago,
do.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So they're doing this little in season tournament. So it's not really getting any play. I think it does still count in the standings, but as speaking of which, the Dream plays tonight. They played Indiana Fever tonight, so I'm not sure if that's part of the tournament, but I know they lost to, I want to say, Connecticut, and that was part of the tournament. That also went towards their record too. So yeah, I have to do some more research about this commissioner's trophy, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure it kind of works like NBA, and it kind of works like anything else in season tournament. So trying to get more eyes on the league. And I mean, so far, I mean, they showing in ratings. People are watching. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Also, Hawks still right now looking for a president of basketball operations. A couple of names out there floating around. Obviously, got a new GM. Salah is the new general manager that was promoted up, but they still looking for somebody. Looking for a new president of basketball operations. From what I'm hearing, and I don't know if this is set in stone or has been approved yet. I know I saw a headline that they were looking at bringing in one of the GMs from New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken, or the GM from New Orleans to be the president of basketball operations with Atlanta. Is that correct? You got some more info on
I
that?
I heard, yeah, I heard also something like that. Also, there's a person within the city that's actually getting talked about. I don't know if you heard. His name is Antoine. Last name Banks. Yeah, he could do a better job and not there and what these clowns are doing up there in State Farm Arena. Um, I feel like whatever they pick up, they doing their due diligence of doing a good job trying to find the right person. But that's not going to mean a hill of bean if your owner still doesn't have that commitment of bringing in players here to get fans, for one, to watch this product that you call a basketball team. And two, I mean, if you're going to sit here and keep telling us one thing, blowing smoke or our butt, saying we're trying to win, well, we can't tell. We keep bringing in these retreads and these guys that, you know, to play with Trey, and then Trey, for some apparent reason, it's like public enemy number one in the league. I have no idea. I don't know what he did. He just came into the league and then he was already hated. So I don't know, dude. I feel like anybody who they bring in, I'm pretty sure me or you can probably do the same job. I mean, unless it's somebody that's gonna blow our socks off. I don't know.
There has to be some type of storyline going on with that because it's the weirdest thing. Trey has been here. He's been here for a while. He's, I guess, the main attraction here. But players have come and gone. We brought in different regimes and different coaches have brought in different people to pair with Trey, and things have just the DeJounte Murray experiment. And just it's just I don't know. We just have not been able to get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? You go all the way back to Eastern Conference Finals, and you was like, okay, well, maybe the Hawks have found a way with Trey to do things, and then now we're back into mediocrity. Like, don't know what's going on, but like you said, Banks, I don't know, maybe they could give us a shout, man. I will be one of your scouts. You can send me overseas and down to the Dominican Republic, and I can scout some people for you over in Europe, things of that nature. If you want to take on, the president of basketball operations, man, to make sure you hire your boy, man, because I can go out there and
And
I can
and,
get us
and with
talent. I can go
everything
up to
you
Rucker
just
Park.
said,
I can
and
go up to Rucker
everything
Park up there in New York.
and everything you just said is still more than they did currently in these past regimes. So yeah, congratulations, you're hired.
That's what's up, man. Listen, moving right along here, man. Real quick take, man. Got to shout out. We hadn't done it in a while, man. Shout out Footy Mob, man. Shout out our crew over there in Atlanta United land, man. Atlanta United, man, it has become. I don't want to say it's become an afterthought here in this city, man, but they're not doing well. They have not done well for quite some time. I don't know, Banks. Where are you interest level? Because they there's a hardcore, I guess, soccer fan base here in this city and in this country, rather. But Atlanta United was so hot, so hot, so hot coming into the MLS in 2017. Obviously, having a lot of success, winning the ship, winning a couple of trophies. But now we're far removed from 2017 now, and it's like the interest level is like black. Is that part in fact of just soccer as a sport not being interesting, or the fact that this is something that is rolled with while they're hot? Because obviously right now they're not hot. It's not getting a lot of pull. I mean, it was like talk and traction everywhere when they were the hottest attraction, man, when they were doing a lot in the MLS. Now it's like, you hardly hear anything about what's going on. I mean, yeah, it's been hard times, but it's like, you know,
Well, I would say this. I mean, I think on my end, I can kind of speak for myself when I say it's been kind of hard to keep up with the team. I don't have Apple TV. Once they took it off the air of Fox, you couldn't watch it on a weekly basis. it's hard to keep up with it. I mean, only time I can actually see MLS is they happen to be on Fox. That's very once in a blue moon. And anytime the United play, you got to catch highlights or actually go to the game. Again, I don't have Apple TV. I can't sit there and sit as an excuse, but I mean, I choose not to have it. So a lot of people, saying we'll sit there, and if it's not on mainstream television, no one's going to tune in on no platform to watch. And especially when they're not winning. Once upon a time, there was a manager, named Tata. Once upon a time we had a guy named Joseph Moore, and then once upon a time we had a Miggy who's here on the team as we speak, and it's not the same. You know, I don't know what happened. Once that regime kind of like played its course, other regimes came in and they did their ideal, what they feel like is a method of winning, and it didn't work. What's going on right now, I have no clue. I don't know if the scheme is not working, or they just might not be good. You know, I'm just being real. I mean, it's just at some point something's got to give. You can't keep calling it because it's certain players that you like. Brad Gazan is up in age. I mean, call it what it is. I mean, he's
I
just
mean,
not that guy anymore. I mean,
it's another. Well, I'll beg to differ with you on that, man. Brad Guzan, yes, he's up in age, but this man has literally been standing on his head and like keeping this team in some games. I think it's a combination of a lot of things that you just hit on, Banks. The fact that we've not had any continuity, and the MLS is just such a weird dynamic in a weird league. The cap rules, the players, and things have just happened and just have not been in our favor. I mean, obviously, we were able to hit lightning in the bottle 2017, 2018, bringing in a bunch of young guys from Latin America and having Tata there, and were able to put in a system and develop something special and just light it up on fire. Now we've just, this is not what, fourth or fifth coaching change or regime, trying to find personnel, trying to, fit the moving pieces along to figure out how do we do this. And it's just not been working. So you just hadn't been able to hit on it. Of course, moving pieces have come in. Boca Negra, he's no longer here. You got Gareth in there trying to make this thing work. All these guys, the new coach they got running, he has championship pedigree. I don't know. My thing is patience and get some continuity, man. I mean, every time something doesn't go exactly the plan or is not successful immediately, I think that a lot of the fan base, I know for a fact, they want to call for heads and they want to hit the reset button. And I don't think you can always do that. You can't do that in life, and definitely in sports. Sometimes you gotta roll with it. You gotta be patient, man, and see what you have and see what you can do. So I don't know, man. Hopefully we'll get back to some winning ways over there, man. I mean, we're looking forward to going over there and tailgate with our footy mod crew. But man, some got to turn around over there, man. So listen, uh, not doing the long show like we usually do. So now we finally get into these Braves. But I ain't want to get over here and start getting real emotional talking about these Braves, man, because I don't know. I'm all over the place with these bad boys. Banks, here we go, man. Atlanta Braves right now, like I said, they about to first pitch going down in Milwaukee, coming off a big win as we record this podcast on last night. But man, a lot of inconsistencies with them and a lot of things that are not going very well. And one of the big topics of conversation that we talked about, Banks, was is Snedeker in the end of his coaching era. I mean, being a long tenured person in this organization with the Atlanta Braves, um, this might be coming up on the end for him. I mean, even though this guy has been with this organization for a while, has brought this city a championship, man, it looks like the game might be passing him. There are a lot of things that I feel like he's missing the mark on, Banks. Will you agree?
absolutely. You can kind of tell on the team. The team is not responding with Snicker. I feel like, to me, if you look at the roster from top to bottom, if you didn't know Braves baseball, you can be like, oh, that's with those names, that's pretty decent. But they're playing like they're they fresh out of the farm system, and they're not hitting the ball. They're not they're not, and if they do have a lead, they can't keep the lead. So I mean, it's like it's something amiss. Something is not going on. And you keep bringing out these retreads, the coaches we had years ago to come back to be third base coaches and first base coaches and all this. Sometimes you just gotta be like, it's just not working, and unfortunately, incident that happened, they said that Snicker's not watching the game or he's missing stuff. You had a pitcher that was on the mound who was obviously hurt and he was trying to come out the game and he didn't even notice it. It took one of our other pitchers and Spencer Strider to be like, hey, you might want to go get that kid. Lo and behold, he was really hurt and he needed Tommy John surgery. So how as you as a manager not see that? How do you not notice something? He was like, in his press conference, oh, I didn't notice it. Well, how did you not notice it? That's just, I mean, it's just the little things. I feel like it resonates through the team, when you become so out of touch, and it's got this old cliche when you have the same thing when you have your I guess your go-to in your press conference. Well, it's baseball. No, it's not baseball. It's common sense in some sense. You have to be the smarter person in the room at some point. And I don't know. This is my opinion. I feel like the team is not responding to him, and I think he's just going through the motions at this point.
I mean, that has a lot to do with it. I think you said a lot. Yes, obviously the team is not responding to him. Seeing a lot that Snit's old school. He's old school, man. Sometimes very resistant to change. I think that the game of baseball has changed. And I think there are a lot of things that, like you said, Banks, he's not taking into consideration like he should. I mean, baseball has become analytical. Baseball has become a lot more modern. There's a lot more statistics and data that they take into play. Well, don't get me wrong. It's still going to be played out there on the diamond. You still got to hit the ball. You still got to pitch. You got to catch. You got to run. All those things you still have to do. But there are other things in the background I think that Schnitt is just not up to par with, and that he is the game is past him. Like you said, identifying the fact that one of the key things as a coach is identifying that there's something wrong with one of your players. And if you can't do that, then I think that maybe it's time to have that conversation of him being out of here. And then, like you said, by bringing older coaches back, I saw the thing where they brought Gonzalez back. I have no idea what that's about. But I want to touch on one more thing here, man, because we're almost at the mark. It's almost like the farm system is depleted. The bullpen is non-existent. I mean, they give up runs like it's nobody's business. Like anybody can hit on the bullpen. Obviously, starting pitching is something that we hang our hat on with Sale and some of those guys and some of the newer guys that are coming along that are doing it. But you get into these sixth and seventh inning, and you got a lead, and it's like okay, oh here comes Boo Boo the Bo out out of the bullpen, and it's like, man, I don't feel comfortable unless the bats can continue to make, like last night they were able to continue to put runs, but I think we still left something like 10 men on base. So it has to be some type of balance where the pitching is going to have to hold on. If I'm able to produce, if the offense is able to produce so many runs, man, pitching is going to have to hold on and help us. I mean, that's always been, when you think of Braves baseball, you go back to when we were very successful in the 90s. It was pitching. That was it. And now it's like, you got with outside of the starting pitchers that we have, once you get into the bullpen and once you get into managing some of those later innings, you get nervous. You get very, very nervous. No lead is safe. And it's been a theme over and over and over again this season. But the fact of the matter remains is that we'll see how long Snit is going to hold on. I mean, 13 and a half games back right now outside of first place. We're slowly coming upon the All-Star break, that pivotal All-Star break where you talk about you need to start getting into position and winning games in order to make it matter going down the stretch. And it's just too many inconsistencies, Banks, too many inconsistencies for me to feel comfortable with this team doing something. Even with these new wild card caveats that they have, man, one and done scenario in my opinion. But I look to see for the best, Banks. Hopefully we can get this thing turned around, right?
Well, that's the hope. I mean, we all know, Braves have a rich tradition in this city. You would think that at some point talent got to win out, but at the same time, it's like something's got to be done. I think we're past the point of blaming Double A. His lack of movement in the offseason. At some point, the question is in the Braves country is, are we going to be sellers? During the trade deadline. I mean, usually since Anthopoulos been here, we've been the ones picking up pieces
acquiring.
and finding that diamond in the rough to help us get over the hump. Um, but if we're on, or if we're talking about selling at this point, you're gonna have to start thinking about a hard reset next off season. I don't blame just Double A. I mean, it starts beyond him. I feel like the ownership has to let go of that tension and that rope he got around his neck. Let this man do what he can do and bring some players in here. You didn't do anything to shore up that bullpen. Nothing. And it's paying, we're paying for it. When every team in your divisions got that much better and your bullpen was not that great to begin with going into this season and you decided to leave it be, this is what we get. And that's why I don't really feel no kind of, woe is me kind of, feeling. It's like you didn't do nothing. This is what you get. I mean, that's the way sports work. I mean, if you don't do nothing to your team, it's going to stay how it was the previous year. You didn't add
Yeah,
anything. So, I mean, what did you expect? I mean, no one's just going to fall to their knees and be fair to you because of your name, the Braves. You're old news, I
hey
mean,
man.
people are talking about the Dodgers now. People are talking about the Mets now. They looking at the big fish. We're just we 3 or 4 years removed from that. So if you're gonna
Yeah.
sit there and ride on that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Like I said, man, hopefully we get this thing. The hope is as fans, like, we're talking as fans, is that we get this thing turned around, man. Listen, Banks, we are at the mark, man. Like I said, hopefully get this thing turned around with the Braves, man. Hope to get that thing turned around with Atlanta United. We'll be tuning in to the Dream as they play this in game, this in season tournament. We'll look to talk about that more on the next episode of the show. Also, if we got any more news with the Braves and if they're going to start the trend up or in the opposite direction, we'll continue to talk about that, man. So, and there'll probably be some other things that'll break before we get to the next episode of this show. We'll definitely come on and we'll definitely talk about them from a fan's perspective and a fan point of view. Definitely shout out everybody that takes the time out to listen to us and watch the podcast, man. We definitely appreciate you guys listening to our input. Banks, let everybody know where they can find you before we cut out of here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can find me at Antoine Jarrell Banks on Facebook, or you can find me at Baby Banks 80 on the ground. Hit me up. Let me know you watched the show. If you watched the show, hit that subscribe button and and do us a solid and keep our algorithms going so we can be as popular as that next group out there.
Absolutely, man. It's a lot of content out there, man. But for everybody that supports us, we definitely appreciate it, man. You can always catch us on Facebook if you're still there. You can catch us also over there on the X or the Twitter, whatever they're calling it these days, ATL 3 style. Obviously, you can catch me over there as well from time to time. I'm at Southern Set with 2 T's. Man, just catch us out here, man. We out here doing it for the fans, man, from a fan's perspective, because we like to do it. I'll be headed to Truist Park Banks here in a couple of next week. Next week, man. Going down Usher Bobblehead night, man. Wednesday on the 18th, man. So I'll definitely be over there for that. That should be a lot of fun. This will be the first Braves game of the year. So that should be fun with me and the fam going over to that. And I don't know. Like I said, in a couple of weeks, y'all just might see me on this show since everybody want to go on vacation and gallivant and do they thing, man. Only OG, I can't. I wish I could, man. Maybe I'll figure out something to do. I don't know. I still have time.
And listen, we're
Don't
not
nobody
letting
ever
y'all
invite me on these trips. Don't
listen
nobody ever
here.
invite me on these trips, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
When you went on your cruise and you went to your African excursions, we didn't get an invite either, sir. So we know that you are a traveling man. You just being modest right now. And I know if you get a chance to go somewhere, you're gonna go. So people out there watching, do not listen to this man. This man goes where he needs to go.
Hey
And
man, that's
me
not
and
that's not right,
Derico
man.
gonna do where we're gonna go.
How you just
So
gonna
listen here. I'm just being real.
I'm trying to get
You go
man.
further
And
than
you,
all of us put together. So
man, whatever. Okay, that's whatever. That's a bold statement there. But
so
yeah,
listen, we
whatever,
got
man.
big things coming up this summer. I mean, I know we got July. Like I said, I will be out of pocket a couple of weeks. Um, but when I return, I'm pretty sure by that time it's going to be around training camp for the Falcons, and I'm very excited about to talk about our new. I guess I don't want to say reset for the Falcons. I want to say maybe progression, if you will. I think this is a progression of a season, if you will, with new quarterback and to see what this regime does. But I think that's was something that I could say going forward, and a lot of people are waiting for us to talk about that of the new regime, Atlanta Falcons.
Absolutely. This has been another edition of the ATL 3 Style Podcast, man. Y'all take it easy.